in all his years of racing. Old Enzo ain't never seen anything move that fast. And now he knows, without a doubt, we're faster than he is.
Adolf? Hmm? I don't think I can do this.
Was? Of course you can. Sure, you're a little bit scrawny and a bit unpopular, and you can't tie your shoelaces even though you're 10 years old, but you're still the bestest, most loyal little Nazi I've ever met.
Hey guys, so we're coming down to the wire. Got a couple more Oscar movies to go, but we're getting there. We got the next two today, and gonna try to be quick about it, but I tried that before and I was longer, so just gonna talk about them, see where we get to. First one we are talking about, Ford v Ferrari. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to be as intrigued by this movie as I was, as invested in it. I'm not a racing person. I'm not a huge sports person, but I like football, things like that. But I have never been a racing person. And even for sports movies, racing is something I've never really been interested in. And yet, this had my attention the entire time. Ford v Ferrari stars Matt Damon and Christian Bale. I mean, that's what you need to know to go see this movie. Even if you're not a racing fan, it's one of those that somebody had told me it's got a little bit of something for everybody, and it does. I mean, it's really well made, It's about, well, you can probably guess what it's about from the title. The company Ford trying to make a faster model, a more efficient model, to beat Ferrari, the company and the head of Ferrari, in the Le Mans race. It's a 24-hour race where you switch out drivers every 4 hours. You just continually go for 24 hours. It's insane. But because of some personal disagreements and some name calling, they try to go to beat Ferrari, who has won like the last 5 or 6 or however many Le Mans races, and they're going to prove them wrong. And it's really just about Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Matt Damon plays kind of the brains of the operation, I guess, in this one garage that actually Ford Jr., Ford the second, has come down to Matt Damon personally and said, I want you to make me this car, no matter how much it costs. And so he's kind of the brains of the operation. He has to deal with all the red tape, as Christian Bale deals with the actual building, the mechanisms, the driving of the car, knowing the car itself. The problem is Christian Bale is also very difficult to work with. He has his own opinions, and he doesn't have the Ford look that they talk about so often, and that kind of gets under some of the people in charge, their skin a little bit, and so they don't want him really racing, even though he is very clearly the best guy for the job. And so that becomes a big disagreement too, and it's really all about Matt Damon and Christian Bale trying to appease both sides, while Christian Bale, his passion is really just this racing, and so he wants to do that as much as possible. This was such an actually great movie. Like, I was in it the entire time. It's long. It's 2.5 hours, and a lot of that is the race, the final race, but it's really good. Like, it's really tense. A lot of great moments. It's directed by James Mangold, who directed Logan. I think that was his most recent movie. He's a guy who finds the humanity in something, finds the groundedness in something that we usually take as very flashy, usually as very, not only fancy, but just, very Hollywood. He grounds it, makes it real. So I was really happy that he made this. I actually didn't know that he was doing it, but yeah, I loved it. I mean, Matt Damon was great as always. He played the all-American guy. Great emotions though. And not that Americans don't have great emotions. I don't know why I put those together. I just thought of an emotional scene he did. And then Christian Bale kind of plays against type a little bit. He plays against type of what he usually plays. He plays a difficult person to work with, so maybe that's his real life type. But he plays kind of this sort of quirky British guy who he's funny, actually. I really like him. Anything he's in, he and Tom Cruise are two of those actors that I'm always just like, another one with you, like, we get it, you're good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna see it, and then I see it, and I'm like, damn it, it was good. It's actually very emotional. It's also really well shot. I mean, just everything about it, the sound, mixing everything is just really, really good. Really loved it. I was in it pretty much the entire time. I don't really have any critiques for it. I mean, very little things, but it's just such a simple story that keeps building on itself and builds character. And, just the relationship between those two guys. If I have one critique, it's that they introduced something in the beginning about Matt Damon where he has some heart issues. It doesn't really come back around, except for maybe just to foreshadow the fact that he doesn't really race a whole lot, so he needs somebody else. So it really doesn't come around, so I don't know why they really meant to address that. So going into this, I wasn't really, like I said, intrigued by it at all. But the fact that I can't think of a critique for it, I can't give it anything else other than a 4 out of 4. It's just such a simple American story. So yeah, it gets a 4 out of 4. I'm just giving them away now. So on to our next one, JoJo Rabbit. It is the latest, I guess you could call it a satire by Taika Waititi, a director that I am rapidly growing to love. Love this guy because he's so good at what he does, but he's also goofy and fun and weird and interesting. And if you haven't seen The Things We Do in the Shadows, so funny. Go see it. I don't know where it is. I gotta find it. I'll put it in the description below. But that is really funny. JoJo Rabbit is a, like I said, a satire directed by Taika Waititi that stars Roman Griffin Davis, Scarlett Johannson, Sam Rockwell, Stephen Merchant, Rebel Wilson, what's his name? The one from Game of Thrones. I'll look it up. And then there's also a lot of people who are unknowns, I think, but also very good. I can't really say what the plot is without giving spoilers because there's kind of a surprise in the beginning. But it really, when it comes down to it, it's really just about this 10-year-old kid, German kid, who is really passionate about the Nazis. And it's set in Germany during the war. He's not just a 10-year-old kid today who's passionate about Nazis. But he's passionate about, he wants to be in the war. He wants to fight. This has been his side. This is where he grew up. And he's really interested in it. And he's more of an adult than any other kid I've ever met. He has kind of this internal struggle of which side to be on once he gets into later events that kind of start to change his mind. And along the way, he kind of has this internal monologue with himself, but not in the form of just talking to himself. He actually talks to Adolf Hitler, his friend and pump-up guy. And Hitler himself is played by Taika Waititi. So you can imagine where that goes. I can't say enough good things about this movie. Like, I gotta say, the Oscars really did pick them well this time. There were still a lot of snubs, which I think just emphasizes the need just for more nominations. Because I don't think any of these nominations didn't deserve it, I think there just needs to be more. Just nominate everything that deserves it. First of all, the cinematography is incredible. I love the production design. It's got the red, yellow, green color theory going on, which really gives a period piece and also kind of a comedy feel and also kind of a satire feel and just all of it put together. And it's artsy, like all of it like that. That's a really nice color combination to have in movies and one you don't see all that often. It's like Taika Waititi just looked at every Wes Anderson movie and was like, I want to make one of those. Kind of. And then he did. Because there's a lot of those whip pans, and there's a lot of almost straight looking at the camera conversations. There's just a lot that makes it look sort of Wes Anderson-ish. I mean, it almost looks like, I think it's Moonrise Kingdom. The one with the scouts. It almost kind of looks like that because they're in all these uniforms. The acting as well. Roman Griffin Davis. I fucking love this kid. I love him. He is adorable. He was such a great actor. I mean, he's the main character of this movie. This 10-year-old kid. Directors have to have really good, not only a really good trust in child actors to carry a movie like this, but also a really good sense of direction in terms of connecting to, relating to those child actors and how to convey what they want them to bring out and teaching them things. To RGD, I'm going to call him RGD, I love you. I need you to be in more stuff. You're great. And I mean, everybody else in this was great too. Obviously, Taika Waititi. There are some people who only have some bit parts, but they're really, really great. I mean, everybody has this nice sense of just that the whole tone of the movie, the whole tone of everybody acting in it is this great, well-balanced mix of lighthearted, funny satire, but with some heart and with some depth a little bit, in it. There's another actress, child actress in the movie who, I can't get into the spoilers of why she's there, but she did a really, really great job as well. Loved her. I mean, just the connection between those two is wonderful. And there is a shot in this movie that I think may possibly be one of my favorite shots of this decade. No, seriously, I think it's really one of my favorite shots that I've seen in a very long time. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've seen it, it's he's looking at the butterfly, and then something happens. That shot, loved it. And for even if you haven't seen it yet, this is why I loved it, because it is set up so damn well. Not even in a way that it's set up like things that come before it give it the foundation for why when you see it, it has such gravity without telling you really much or like showing you too much. But the ways that it sets up, they don't feel forced. They feel like they're just there giving meaning to other things, and then it just happens to come back later and give such weight to that one shot. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was, Taika Waititi. I don't think he's nominated for Best Director, is he? No. Oh, you need more nominations. That's what I'm saying. I love JoJo Rabbit. It was a great movie. Like, those GIFs? GIFs? I say GIFs. Fight me. You know those GIFs where it's like, whether it's The Office one or The Bachelor one, whatever it is, where it's like somebody's laughing and then they turn into crying. That's what this movie is, because it goes from, like, a lot of comedies go from like funny parts till like it gets serious. This one is like it's funny, then it's serious, then it's funny, then it's serious. Actually, sometimes it's both at the same exact time. Like, there's terrible things going on and you're like crying, but then you're like it blew up. So the tone of this movie is just awesome, because you can't really peg it, but you can. It's weird. The entertainment of watching a kid figure out these things on his own that we as the audience and as adults already know and understand. And that's kind of the dramatic irony of it. So I think those parts, it was less about the joke and more about the watching JoJo figure these things out and go through his mind, on these issues. So there's things that I'm like, I'm still ruminating on it, kind of thing, that I'm trying to figure it all out. But I can't really call them critiques, and this really was just a well-made story that was funny and emotional and had a lot of heart. And again, another one that I really wasn't expecting to be as invested by. I'm going to give JoJo Rabbit a 4 out of 4. Maybe I'll get harsher as it goes on. Maybe I'll turn to the dark side of film critiquing. Who knows? Well, there you have it, guys. So I have to finish The Irishman, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to have time to edit my review of it. So I'll probably just send that one out as just a regular, just uncut review, an uncut gem. Maybe I'll edit that part out. But I'll send out The Irishman one either way. And if I don't get to edit it, I'll make an official version after that. But I just want to get it all out before Sunday. So I'll get you The Irishman review plus my official ranking of what I want to win, things like that. And the next one, as always, keep your hopes high, your dreams low. No, that's not it. Don't do that. Keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I need to go to bed.